Tell me first of all, what do you think of this fucking week, bro?
It's been amazing. Yeah, it really has been. It really has been. It's been life altering on so many levels.
Where have we been? We have been to the fucking bro.
We've been doing everything. We've been in all the spots in Cape Town. We've been on the helicopter. We've been doing it's been wild.
We have been working for 3 months right now together, and we have achieved certain results. And in this video, I just want to explain people, not just the general testimonial, just explaining things of what he has achieved and whatever the fuck. We want to clearly outline the blueprint of what you've been able to achieve and how you've done it, so people can scale in the same way you did, right? From 0 to 15K in 3 months. Tell the most important thing that you did in terms of action in the beginning that made that switch from making literally nothing, because bro, you started at 0, right? And that's respect, because we scaled fast. So what was that one thing that made you scale, that got you to the point where you are now, right here on this client?
Yeah. For me, it was just like, it was just getting a systemized acquisition process in place. Really, that was the main thing. Like, as soon as I joined Nick, the thing we started talking about right away was just taking action and just doing the right money-driven decisions. That was really the big thing.
So we talked about a lot, bro.
Yeah. We talked about that a lot. And it was something that I had a big, I struggled with that a lot, because I used to I did a lot of procrastination and stuff.
Yeah.
So I got in and Nick was just like, we're just doing this. So it was a lot of personal branding, and it was a lot of just getting the systems in place. And that was a part of it, just outbound and hiring people. But that's really the main thing. Like focusing on that and not going into kind of the 10K a month route, which is doing, just doing everything
the
yourself.
Generic task, just doing it on an average level. We went specifically, and that's an important thing for people to know, because the majority of the market scales to 10K doing generic things. But we just focused on the specifics, and these things are just massively important. Also, a follow-up question on that, when it comes down to these acquisition systems, when I tell you to do something, you'll do it, right? Which is extremely important, and that's the reason why you achieve results. So my question on that is, what would you say was the thing that made you make the decision to do things consistently? And also, when we came back on calls with certain data, we had data inputs based on the setters, on the outreach, right? We had data inputs based on the ads. We had data inputs based on the offer. How did you position that to know how you can make further actions based on it?
I mean, it was a lot of it was input from you and kind of general direction, but it's also just thinking for yourself in a way, and just consuming a lot of other stuff as well that's around you to kind of get a better picture of what everything's looking like. With the outbound, for example, I got the general direction from you, but then I took a look at the data myself. We took a look at the data, and you could see okay, there are some things here that could really be
that are not going well.
Yeah, that are not going well.
And that's why data is important, bro.
Yeah, and that's just when you optimize, and you kind of it was also the thing, I couldn't just wait for you to tell me what to do all the time either. And
correct. You find solutions yourself, bro, and you did that well. We're working on something, we achieve a certain result, and there's been a blueprint, there's been a mechanism that has allowed itself to achieve that result. But I think the main thing that got you to the point, and it will get you for sure to 50, 100K in the upcoming months, is reading the right data, bro. I think we've talked about that a lot. And people just misunderstood the importance of data, because guess what? When you know, and you know everything you need to know about data. You just know what for actions to take.
Absolutely. It's the number one way to identify the bottlenecks that you have in your business.
Correct.
And I talk about this a lot on my page as well. It's not only are you it's how you identify the bottlenecks, but it's also you identify what you can do towards fixing the bottlenecks.
Correct.
Because if you don't have data, you're just throwing shit out there and just hoping something sticks and just hoping something works. And the big thing is you're trying to fix something, but at the same time, you don't even know if it's working or not. If you don't have the data, you don't know.
You're just guessing.
You're just
right?
guessing.
It's always guesswork. And guesswork doesn't get you anywhere.
No. And not only could it be you're not fixing the problems, but you could actually be tweaking something that's actually working really well as well.
Correct. So, correct. I had one of my clients, and it was very interesting. I think I talked about that with you as well. He didn't have Hyros implemented. So he was reading data based on the ads manager, right? And there was one call process which it was costing him the CPC was $200. So it was $200 per call. And the other one was 151.
Yeah.
150 costs per call. But with Hyros, you can calculate the money you make from an ad. Right? So what happened within that process, he turned off the 200 per appointment ad while that one was performing better than the 150 per appointment ad because it was collecting him more cash.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you turn off the wrong ad, and because you don't know your numbers, you never know what to do. Right? We always talk about it like in general, going from 0 to 3K, you just fucking do sales, do outreach, do shit. You know, but from 3 to 15K, there needs to be a certain strategy in terms of knowing what you need to do. You know what it is? Like traveling, bro, that's also an important metric, right? Like we are traveling here together and we're surrounded by people doing anywhere between 15 to fucking 100K, 150K. So it's crazy the dynamic that we have here. When we reflect that on business, how do you systematize and how do you make sure? What have you learned from working together in terms of building a good team? What is important when you look at building a good team?
It's funny you mentioned that because I actually talked about this last night with some of the boys, and I asked them a question. It was like, how do you look at the hiring process? Like, what do you value in the hiring process? Was what we talked about. And one thing that we actually talked about, which is very interesting, is kind of contradictory to what a lot of people say in this space. But I've been reading up on this a lot recently, and it's just like the most important aspect of hiring a good team is you have to have the right people in the right positions.
Correct.
And the most important thing is you have to have people that actually align with what you think about, and like they can align with your vision, and
with
they
your
actually
thinking process, your vision.
Yeah, and they are prepared to do the work.
Correct.
And the second thing, like that's the first thing, and then the second thing that comes along is how good they're at the job. Because like you can always train people up, you can always teach people to be better, but that like intangible thing of like how do they align with your vision? How do they think like you do? Do they act like you do? Do they, take their own actions? Stuff like that. You can't really measure that in a way that you can with how good they're at the job,
Whenever I have people working in my company, every single person in my company can do their work better than I can. Everyone, right? I'm just very good at being a leader, knowing exactly how to position things correctly, because that's the point. It's not only about hiring the best people. It's about knowing when to hire the right people at the right time in the right position.
Absolutely.
And then at the same time, people are always saying, I want the best A players. They want the best A players where they're making no money. Exactly. People that are at zero, they say, I want A players. I want people that are insanely good. I want people with massive experience. But like, you can have C and B players in your company.
Absolutely.
It's completely fine. When you have generic tasks to do in your company, you can let virtual assistants do these tasks.
Absolutely. And the thing is, like, the team you have and the team you hire, they're a direct reflection of you as a leader as well. So like the way you lead and the way you are as a business owner and a founder, that's going to reflect on how your team acts. So like if you are not an A players are not going to want to work with you. That's just how it works.
Correct.
So like you have to be a certain type of a leader, and you have to be able to look inwards in a way to see, okay, like what am I doing wrong? Where's my faults at? Because if you as a leader fix your faults, your team is going to benefit 1,000x from that.
You need to have internal qualities to attract A players, and you need to have a brand that allows itself to attract A players.
Absolutely.
Guess what? If you have no brand, if you have no status, and you have no track record, why would the best person in any company wants to work with you?
Absolutely.
Why would they choose, like whatever, fucking John over anybody else, right? If that person has a complete brand, has credibility, has proof, while John has nothing.
Yeah.
So that's a good point you're making.
And what along with the brand thing, what you also need to have is you need to have direction with your company. Because like A players, they don't want to come work for somebody where there's no future for them. Like if you want to hire A player talent, you don't want them to come to your company and then that's going to be the end of the road for them. Like this is what they're going to do. You want it to be like a streamlined process where they can actually evolve with the company and they can grow with their position, their income can grow, their skills can grow, and then maybe they can go out and do bigger and better things. So you need to think of your company as like an incubator for A players basically.
You know how I call them? Growth specialists.
Yeah.
Growth.
Yeah.
They want to grow.
They want to grow.
They don't
bro.
stagnate.
No.
People grow, they're independent, they can find solutions themselves, and that's the reason why they grow.
Yes.
And guess what? And I think you also learned that when we work together, like the moment you get A players in your team, bro, tell the people how much fucking stress it releases, how much input it does on a consistent basis without you being involved.
Yeah. It's wild. Like I remember you told me when we were in Dubai, you said like when you get your first booking from like having a team where you had no part in it, you're probably gonna cry. And it was like, it's a euphoric feeling just seeing like somebody booking calls for you without you having to do anything in the process.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Growth specialists are amazing. The amount of stress that it'll decrease in your internal like system is ridiculous, at least for me, because guess what? It's not only about hiring other people, it's about not feeling responsible for certain tasks. And that's why they're growth specialists.
Yeah.
Right? And how has that been working out in your system? Like, do you feel like right now that when you look at the appointment setting system, you have full trust that your setter can just take over, you know? So you don't have to rely on that system anymore.
No,
you don't have to
absolutely.
constantly think like, how can I,
no.
you know, like, fuck this, like, stress there. Oh shit, I need to DM these people. No, you can just chill,
Yeah.
you can relax, you're not responsible, and you're responsible at the end line. But your setter is basically responsible for that task because you trust that person.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, bro. That's business,
it is.
bro.
That's
how you
business.
build companies. Look at Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Bro, this guy built billion-dollar companies with millions of fucking people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, that's the reason people like us can be out here, and we can, you know, we can work. We can also enjoy ourselves in a way. We can go on the helicopter rides. We can go to the parties. We can go on the dinners because we have these systems and we have people in our companies that we actually trust and that we can put the trust in, and they can handle the process for us. And we can do, you know, we can do the higher level thinking stuff and actually do stuff to grow the business, but we can also enjoy the freedom that having a business brings us.
What you said, like we can do helicopter rides while the input in our company is still being done.
Yeah.
The worst thing I ever heard, and this is a familiar word in the entrepreneur space, is solopreneur. I want to be a solopreneur. Bro, think about it. Then just become a McDonald's employee. If you don't want people in your company and you want to do everything, right?
Yeah,
Am I wrong?
yeah.
And you want to do everything yourself, then just work a 9 to 5.
Yeah, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
The most beautiful thing about life is building cool shit with other people that you love
Yes,
and that you
bro.
like
Yes,
and
bro.
that will help you and that see that fucking vision that you want
Absolutely.
to see. Because you cannot do it alone, bro.
No.
You cannot do it alone.
No.
Right? And that's same with input. Let's talk about that side with input with ads. Outbound, automated. Growth specialists, they get the work done. With ads, it's the same sequence. You spend $1 and you get $10 back,
Yeah.
which gives you leverage.
Yeah.
Right? When it comes down to the profile funnel, what have you learned about that?
I've learned that personal branding is one of the biggest, if not the biggest aspect
Middle of
to
the
running.
funnel,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. The middle funnel stuff is, bro, it's just different. Like when you said like running ads, and then you get the people to your profile. If you run like growth optimized ads, for example, you get them to your profile. They go through your content, and then you have this kind of middle of funnel content that we've been talking so much about on the
Yeah.
calls, and just having that content that just nurtures people. Because the way I see it is people in the space still kind of see personal branding wrong. Like I see a lot of people do all this top of funnel stuff and just attract, and then they do nothing with the audience that they
The
gain.
nurturing process
Yeah.
is the most difficult process to optimize because people cannot comprehend what's needed to optimize your messaging, your marketing, your framing, your positioning, your content, your long form, short form, email sequences, stories, everything, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a hectic process.
It is.
That's very good for people to learn, for them to understand on how they can capitalize on it, right? Because it's same with traffic. Like you can spend $1, get 10 back. But when you attract the wrong traffic and unqualified leads,
Doesn't matter.
what are you going to do with your profile, bro?
Yeah.
Nothing,
No.
right? And I think like acquisition, we've been talking about acquisition is important because right now we know that the VSL funnel was like kind of outdated based on 2019, 2020, maybe 2020 it still worked, but in 2025, it's not the way you grow a company because you drive traffic towards a direct landing page, a direct call. You need to have a very strong offer to instantly close.
Yeah.
But it's just like then just do a product launch, you know, where you
Yeah,
gather, we talk to
absolutely,
so many
absolutely.
people, bro. You can make 500 grand in a week, bro.
Yes, bro. Yes.
It's ridiculous how
Yeah.
that system works.
It is. It is.
How
And-
have you learned to position your offer well?
So the way I've thought about it recently is just like positioning the offer just comes down to getting something about you and something about your offer that is unique. Because as you just talked about with the VSL stuff, like the reason that worked a couple of years back is because that kind of offer that people ran with those type of funnels wasn't saturated yet. But now everybody's done it. And like people have seen these crazy guarantees, people have seen all the stuff, and it just doesn't work anymore because people don't
Saturated.
believe it. It's saturated. People have seen it time and time again, and people have seen people get results from it, and people have seen people not get results from it. So it's like it just doesn't work. It's just saturated. So what you have to find another different kind of unique angle with it, and that's where I think both personal brand comes in because you can really showcase who you are and like why you're different. It doesn't have that your offer or your fulfillment doesn't have to be really different. It's just you. People buy from people they like. People heard that a lot, but it's like the best thing you can do is like kind of build a community around who you are and your fulfillment, and that is what's gonna separate you from the rest of the market. And that's what I think one of the things you do so well, because it's like you just see this like client retreats, Cape Town,
vision,
Dubai,
bro.
yeah, and you
People
see the vision.
visualize every single thing of what we're building on all together. You know, like me with all the clients here, and people want to be part of that thing.
Exactly.
And they choose to be part of that thing the moment they take the risk to take action on that. You know, and that's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
And the people that do take that risk and take that action are the people that are here, right? You saw the Dubai client retreat video. That's the reason why you joined. Partially, could be. You know, maybe. Or the Greece client retreat. Now you're here on this one, bro. People will see this one, and maybe you'll meet Jonathan and me
you're next.
on the next one.
On the next one, exactly.
Right, so that's an important process.
That's
bro.
the thing. Like the thing was, I was looking around for, you know, just people to kind of help me scale my business and stuff like that. And the thing, like, what just set Nick apart is just that he had this kind of community feel. Like, he was doing these client retreats. He had a bunch of clients doing well, but it just seemed like a good time, and he seemed like a cool guy. So, like, you just want to be a part of that whole thing. And, like, then kind of the business kind of takes a step back in that, because, like, there's a lot of people out there that can help you scale your business, but there's fewer people that can help you scale your business and are actually a person that you want to be around and actually want to hang out with.
And the person that you want to be around and that you want to learn from helps you even grow your business faster.
Absolutely.
Right? Because you can, like, a system is technical. It has nothing to do with people. It's technical. So it's like, okay, I buy a system and I get certain results. But the most important thing is look at the people that you like. Right? When you like me, pay me. When you don't like me, don't pay me. Like, it's that simple.
It's that simple, yeah.
It's really that familiar and that simple, bro. What have you learned from working with me in the past 3 months that has been game-changing for you?
I've learned, as we talked about, just the importance of leverage. I've learned a lot. And, like, not only that leverage is important if you want to scale your business, and as we talked about before with the teams, not only have I learned that that's important, but I've also learned, like, that is the catalyst for growth. Like, getting a growth specialist, you don't just get a growth specialist because you want to delegate and you want to be more free and you want to do more stuff outside of business. You do that because that's actually going to take you to the next level. That's not only going to keep you steady with you working less, it's actually going to take you to the next level. Because if you get a person who actually is better than you at the thing they're doing, then that's going to help you grow. Yes. I told you this in Dubai. It's like when the thing that kind of switched it for you was like getting a growth specialist who was just a killer. Like having a killer setter, having a killer growth specialist, having a killer team is not only going to keep you on the same level, it's going to elevate you. And that's one of the things I've learned, one of the biggest things I learned from you. And then also, as we've talked about, but it's just the personal branding, bro. Like, and it's
just the trips that you've been on. We met in Dubai like a couple months ago. Yeah. Like, I think I've met 50 clients in the last year. It's amazing to meet people, see their progress, meet them in real life, to let them experience how it is to scale companies, help them grow, fix problems in the moment. Bro, I've sitting down with a couple clients. I'm not sure if you were there as well. We sit down with like 4 or 5 clients and we were just masterminding. We were just thinking, how can we imagine having a hot seat, 5 tables or 5 seats. Everybody's saying, one comes up with a problem and you solve that problem. All the other 4 help you solve your exact problem. That's massive. That's insane because everybody has their own vision, right? And we're so limited towards our own opportunities, towards our own vision, towards what we think is true. The moment you get input from 4 different people with all their individual input and like experience and opportunity, it helps a ton because the insights that you get, which will allow you to make different decisions, is amazing, bro.
Absolutely. And that's something, you know, I've been realizing by coming here. Like, it's so easy to get along with people here because you kind of all relate to each other in a way, but there's so much knowledge to tap into because everybody's doing similar things, but they're not doing the same things. So like you can take little bits and pieces from everywhere and people can give you knowledge on different things. Like, yeah, some of the guys maybe can help me with my acquisition systems because they don't run the same systems, but they, as we talked about, they can help me with the hiring process. They can help me with this. They can help me with that. They can help me with ads. Whatever it is, there's so much knowledge in a place like this and there's so much experience. So to a point where you can just like extract that from people by just speaking to them. And it's super powerful because it's just like, it's just free game, really. It's just like you get game.
It's great, bro.
It really is.
It's good to hear. Well, what would you? Last question, brother. Otherwise, we don't want to make it 2 hours. What is the thing that you tell people that are potentially thinking of working with me?
I would say just do it really. Like it's just taking action, and that's something that I took a lot of pride in last year when I joined Nick, and when I went to Dubai, now coming here, like a big part of it has just been for me just taking action. Because I talked about with some guys when we were at Serge's place, it was like the thing that most people don't realize is that us sitting here just comes from us taking action on the right things.
Correct.
And like there's nothing inherently special with who we are as people. Like we're not geniuses in any way. Some of us aren't, probably below like average IQ, I'd say.
Like for sure. There are people that are high IQ, people low IQ, and they'll all make money.
Yeah. And it's just because they take action on the right things. And getting a mentor is something that it's absolutely high on that list. Because it's
the direct input that you get from it, the direct money, maybe you make your return on investment in a week, but also the unconscious and the indirect decisions.
Absolutely.
And things that you'll learn, which makes you grow, which makes you make different decisions.
Absolutely. Like that's the biggest thing for me. It hasn't been the direct ROI that I've been getting on just the business. It's just like my kind of data sets and your mind has grown so much. Absolutely.
Which is the reason why you achieve the result you have right now, bro.
That's it.
Brother, thank you so much, bro.
Thank you so much.